Hey everybody, and welcome to this video module on brainstorming. Brainstorming is of course the process of coming to new ideas and collecting them somehow. In EYP, we usually do brainstorming right at the start of committee work, after the part we call knowledge sharing. One brainstorming method you've probably already seen is to give each and every delegate 3 to 5 post-its for them to write down their ideas. While this method is useful for some topics and some committees, it isn't this magical work method that works all the time. Before we get to some more creative approaches for your brainstorming, let's take a look at some basic theory, namely the difference between logical and lateral thinking. So first off, let's imagine my whole apartment is on fire. With logical thinking, I would see my single options, which is cry out for help, jump out of the window, or just die in the flames. Well, option 2, jumping out of the window, seems for me to have the most chances to survive, which is not really that safe seeing that I live on the 3rd floor. Lateral thinking, on the other hand, would maybe tell me, well, let's take those scissors to cut off the curtains, tie them together, and with my shoelaces, fix them to the window so I can let myself down. Logical thinking sees option 1, then 2, and then option 3. We evaluate. Option 2 seems like the best, so we take it. Lateral thinking, on the other hand, would lead to option A, then option D, and combined with the element F, it becomes option E. But we might end up taking option G anyways. If you'd like to know if a specific brainstorming method is leaning either to logical or lateral thinking, you gotta watch out for 3 parameters. Quantity, connectivity, and control. Quantity, of course, refers to the number of ideas. Connectivity means the interaction between the delegates. And control simply stands for the delegates' will to put their ideas and thoughts out there and up for discussion. So before we now get to concrete brainstorming methods, let's have a quick look at an exercise you can do before it. You probably already know it. It is called Shoe Factory. The storyline behind it is that a shoe factory, has 100 leftover left shoes, and it is the delegate's duty to find out what to do with them. So there's various approaches you can take on this. One I would suggest is to have a delegate state their idea for a shoe, then the next one, and so on. Because what this means is that if a delegate runs out of ideas, they can have a listen to what their fellow colleagues have to say and then build upon what they already said and on the ideas of the others. So now let's finally move on to some brainstorming methods, starting off with the superstorm. Put down a flip chart on a table and seat your delegates around it. After setting up a timer, all the delegates have to write down as many things as they can think of in the given time. Additionally, while putting down their ideas, they have to shout them out loud. When a delegate stops, they can listen to all the ideas around them and get inspired by the others' comments. So let's look at our parameters. The superstorm produces a high quantity of ideas. The connectivity is quite high as well, and because the delegates are under time pressure, their control over what they write down is rather low. The next method is called the Macht method, named after the famous German EYPer Christian Macht. First, every delegate writes down their 3 most important ideas on post-its. Afterwards, they will find themselves discussing those ideas in pairs, eliminating some of the post-its so that in the end, they have again 3 post-its. This process can be repeated until you end up with one big group discussion. The end product should be 3 post-its, the 3 best ideas of the whole group. What this means is that you have 3 high-quality ideas that all the delegates have already agreed upon. There is low quantity with only 3 ideas at the end. Low connectivity because they only start talking to each other when the brainstorming process has already ended. And the control is rather high as the delegates only want to put out their best ideas. In this module we learned the difference between logical and lateral thinking, the importance of quantity, connectivity, and control, an exercise you can use before getting into brainstorming, as well as the superstorm and the Macht method. Thank you for watching this video module on brainstorming, and good luck with your next brainstorming experience at your upcoming EYP session.